folks, welcome back to Good Enough Customs. So last week we left off with well, not a whole lot, I guess a little bit. Got this small block tore down. Things have changed around a little bit since then, but don't worry, I haven't had a whole lot of time this week to work on it. It's been another busy week. Literally every day after work I've had something going on, so have not had a chance to get out here to the shop. So here we are, Saturday morning. Been out here probably a couple hours already, just kind of cleaning up stuff, getting stuff ready. You know, got my little pan of diesel, got the head bolts and everything kind of soaking right now. I'm going to finish cleaning those up. Cleaned up my timing cover and the harmonic balancer, got all the grime off of those. Went through, re-scraped all this stuff. I ended up picking up a super scraper. This guy, I don't know which model that is, but man, I thought I was doing pretty good with my little, you know, $2 razor blade scraper. Yeah, that thing, it means business. So it scraped all sorts of crap off that little razor blade didn't get. Plus, I didn't have to like reload the blades. I can't remember what type. I think it's a carbide tip or something like that. It's a really, really stupid, strong piece of metal that's got a hell of an edge on it. But that thing did an amazing job cleaning up all these surfaces. So I went through, re-cleaned all my surfaces up. Did notice one thing while I was cleaning it up here on the heads. Hopefully it kind of translates. But you can see where the head has actually been machined. So it's been resurfaced. So I'm guessing if they're going to resurface it, they're going to rebuild it. So the head's probably fine. Plus, this little $30 piece of crap right here. It's a piece of crap. So not even gonna worry about the heads at this point. Plus I've only got today, I've got tomorrow, I've got stuff I've got to get done that doesn't include being in the shop. So tomorrow's gonna be kind of a bust for me. So today's kind of my day. I can get in here, I can get stuff kind of stripped down, cleaned up, ready to go to get it outside, or maybe even put back together a portion of it, partly. Get it outside, get it all pressure washed down, get this block prepped and get it ready for paint, because I don't like this blue. So we'll get it ready to paint and maybe pressure wash under the hood a Little John, get that ready to go, because it is a filthy mess underneath there. So the goal today is get the motor put back together enough to where I can get it cleaned up and ready for paint and or painted. Get under the hood a Little John sprayed so I can actually get ready to start pulling that motor out. Maybe pull the motor from Little John. Honestly, I don't think that's going to happen today, but we'll see how, we'll see where we get. But hopefully I can get this motor at least put back together enough to where maybe we can get the paint on it and let it start drying before I go pulling the motor out of Little John. That's kind of where we're at. I did a little hemming and hawing, as I do, throughout the week, thinking about it. I was like, this motor's fresh. I mean, there's no denying it. But from the guy that I bought it from said it was sitting for 10 years, something like that. So I'm like, okay, while I've got it, I might as well go ahead. I know I said I wasn't going to worry about it, but I'm gonna go ahead and pull the rear main cap off, and go ahead and replace the rear main seal. It's one of those, it's here, it's easier to do it out of the truck. So just for my sanity's sake, we're gonna go ahead and do that. Get this rear main swapped out for a fresh gasket, one that's not potentially dry and a little brittle, and of course the front seal that'll get replaced because that's just a press in on the timing cover. So we'll have fresh seals on the front and rear main. Sorry, allergies are going nuts today for some reason, which is weird because I generally don't have allergies, but so there's a little sniffing, a little sneezing. But yeah, so that's what we're gonna do is get this guy ready to go, pull this rear main, replace this rear main seal, and maybe pop another cap or two off, just kind of take a peek at the bearings. I had a viewer say that on the last video in the comments, is like, hey dude, pop the caps, take a look at the bearings. I'm like, yeah, the more I'd already thought about it, I already kind of decided I was going to pop a few caps off, just pull a couple rod caps, maybe another main cap, and just take a peek at it, just see what the bearings look like, make sure they're in good shape. I don't imagine they are in bad shape. They're probably just fine, but never hurts to just take a peek. So so we'll do all that. So I guess with that, we'll go ahead and let's get started. All right, so looking at this rear main, yeah, it's into the bearing a little bit, but it's not anything I'd be too terribly worried about. Looks like there has been a piece of trash go through, scraped it up a little bit, but yeah, I think she's all right as far as the bearing's concerned. Now, I am glad I decided to go ahead and replace the rear main, because this thing, well, one, they did it wrong. They put it dead up right on top, you know. Basically, they mounted it, you know, like that. So on the rear mains, in case you don't know, you want to clock them, you know, 1/4 inch or so. Clock it so that way your gap here, your seam here, doesn't meet up with your mating surface here on the, you know, maybe I can point it to the side so y'all can see, where the mating surface on your main doesn't meet up with the mating surface on the block and where the main cap, you know, mount in. So yeah, so glad I did that, because that's gonna leak. It's gonna leak like this. So you always clock it a little bit, you know, about 1/4 inch or so. That way this seam and the seam where the main cap hits the block, they're not on the same plane, so less chance of a leak there. So that, and this thing is rock hard. So there's no pliability left on this, so glad I did that. All right, so I'm gonna knock this bottom one out, and yeah, I'll dig the new rear main out of my gasket set. So all right, moving on. All right, got the new rear mains. Went ahead and just dunked it in some oil. That way it should slide through pretty easy. So we'll just shove this guy on in. And we're gonna leave an offset. The packaging actually says about 3/8 of an inch. So 1/4 inch, 3/8, somewhere down there with. There we go. I don't recall what my torque spec is for this, so I'll have to look that up here in a second. But we'll just go ahead and run them on down. Well, now this is the reason why I really didn't want to pull. I really didn't want to pull these caps off. Ugh. So I just pulled, what is that? Cylinder 4? Just pulled 4s. And, yeah. That's not cool. Started down into the bottom material. Damn it. Luckily, nothing has marred up the crank. Dang, man. And these are 10 oversized. Man. That really sucks. Alright, well, at the risk of upsetting myself even further, let's pull another. Let's just see what we got. Dang it. I guess ignorance is bliss. Oh, there's some material right there. Dang it. Maybe I wasn't as lucky as I thought. It looks like a little bit of metal's gone through. I can see it mashed in here on the bearing. Yep. All right, well, that's fantastic. This motor's gonna need a set of bearings. It looks like this one was starting to spin the bearing. At least I'm guessing that, because it's offset by quite a bit. But yeah, that's no bueno right there. Dang it. The edge of this bearing's all, you're not gonna be able to see it, but the edge of this bearing's all beat up and chewed up. This little guy right there, I just pulled out. So that is a small piece of metal that's been floating in the motor. Damn it. Man alive. Well, that ain't the ain't what I was wanting to see. Yeah, that I don't know if y'all could see that little metal. I couldn't see the screen of the camera, but there he is. He was sitting there just on the back side of the bearing. So damn it, it's had some metal go through it. So I don't know. I don't know right now. I'm gonna have to think on this. Obviously I'm gonna have to order a set of bearings for it. I guess I'm gonna need to measure the crank, see what my crank measurements are. They got 10 over bearings here, but I don't know, man. I don't know if that's, you know, material going through the motor doing that, or they just put too big a bearing. Maybe they thought they went 10 over. Like I said, this number 3, yeah, that's number 3. Number 3, you can see this is how I pulled it out, so the bearing actually come up a little bit. Now granted, the piston or the rod isn't all the way seated, or no, it is seated, but yeah, that's how it popped out. As soon as I got the cap off and was looking, I was trying to get this guy off, and he just wasn't budging. So knocked him down a little bit, and noticed that the bearings kind of rolled a little bit. So it may be in the process of spinning some bearings. Damn it! But with it having that much wear, I don't know. We'll have to get in here. We'll have to. Damn it! I'm going to have to disassemble the motor. I really didn't want to do that. I'm going to have to disassemble this guy, pull the pistons, check each one of the bearings, check all the mains. The rear main bearings, they're a little worn, but they weren't terrible. There's still life there. I had plans, and now my plans are shot, because I'm going to have to order bearings. And that'll be next week before they get here. So I guess I'm gonna think on this. I'll get back to y'all here in a minute. This just knocked the wind right out of me. So yeah, I'll be back. So I've been hemming and hawing for, I don't know, an hour-ish. Called up my brain trust. Thanks, Crook. But actually, no, thank you, Crook. You confuse me even more than I am right now. But I've got options here. I'm working on something in my head that might work. I've got to do a little homework on it and see if it'll work. But yeah, I don't know just yet. That's kind of where we're at. Also talking with Crook, and while I was explaining to him what I found, I was just like, oh, now I understand why these bearings look like absolute crap. It's this little fella, you know, this little flake of metal right there. Definitely was starving oil to those 2 bearings, and that's what's causing, you know, one of them to almost, you know, spin, and then both of them just completely wear down. Lord only knows what the rest of them look like. They may be totally fine, don't know. I'm glad I pulled those and I found this, because that could have been bad down the road. But either way, what's got to happen now is this block's got to be completely blown apart, which really sucks. So I'm gonna have to pull everything apart, pull the cam back out, time and set off of it, pull the crank, you know, rods, pistons, pull everything out. Don't know if I'll send it off to a machine shop and have them, you know, basically hot tank it. I may have them go ahead and hot tank it to make sure that we get as much of, you know, any other metal residue that's in there out. On the fence about that. Might could just do it here at the house, you know, kind of one of those hope for the best. Maybe I got all of it, maybe I didn't. But I don't know. I'm gonna have to do a little homework on this and see what's gonna cost me to go get, you know, what it's gonna cost, 2, what's the time frame, all that fun stuff. So, and we're kind of in that situation where I'm like, all right, I really want to get Big John back on the road. 1, I enjoy driving that truck. It's a lot of fun to drive. Right now, it would probably suck to drive it because it's hot as balls outside, but it's a really fun truck to drive. So I want to get it back on the road, and this is some of the stuff that me and Crook are talking about, and you know, maybe y'all guys can chime in. It'll be a lot of work, a whole lot of work, but so here's what we got right now is, okay, got a bad motor in Little John. Yeah, that motor's got to come out, no big deal. Got this guy, which needs a little bit more love than what I'm ready to give it right now. Now I have a very good running, solid, low mile Vortec 350 in Steve. Could pull the Vortec 350 out of Steve, plunk it down in Little John. I would have to get a new flywheel because this is a 1-piece rear main seal. That's a 2-piece rear main seal on that. Just go ahead and still maintain that SM465 in there. I would like to go up to the, what is that, the MV4500, I think. But yeah, there's like $2,000 for one of those transmissions, and Daddy ain't got that kind of money. So the deal is with Steve, you know, I'd always planned on putting the big block in Steve. I was going to big block was going to go into the Pontiac for a little while until I was ready to do Steve, but you know, here we are. So, damn it, man. So this is what we're kind of looking at right now. Pull the motor trans out of Steve. Take that motor, dump it in Little John. Get Little John back on the road. Should be pretty straightforward, pretty easy. Only real difference is, like I said, flywheel, and with this being a 2000 model Vortec 350, it doesn't have any provisions for a mechanical fuel pump, so I have to put an electric fuel pump on it, which is no problem because I just put one here on Steve. So I've got an electric fuel pump I can drop right on there. Problem solved. That'll get Little John back up on the road, but that takes Steve off the road. Now, with the motor and everything pulled out of Steve, I could probably swing pretty quick. I wouldn't be able to cover a ton of it on the channel because I would really need to, you know, the video processing takes a lot of time, you know, filming, setting up lighting, and, you know, of course, me talking, which I tend to do a little bit much of, but can get in here, fix the firewall up where it's got a bunch of holes and rust, get all that crap cut out, get that all welded back up and cleaned up. I've actually got a set of filler panels that I've had for 6 years, maybe. I don't know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 years, because I bought them at the very first C10 Nationals I went to. So I've got a set of panels right here that's just been sitting up on the shelf waiting for me to get Steve done. It's to smooth the firewall out. So I can put those guys on there. That'll take care of like most of the rust. Then there's a little bit of rust I need to fix down low where the toe board meets. But do that, and then I can take the big block and the 4L80 and slide it up in here in Steve and go ahead and just get that part done. Maybe. I don't know. There's a lot of thinking going on here. And then we'll take and build this motor up. You know, if I got to tear it down, maybe we just go ahead and stroke it. Not in a dirty way, but in a fun way. Wait. But go ahead and stroke this guy. He's already punched out. Everything's pretty fresh on this motor, so it wouldn't be that difficult to buy a stroker kit and just drop it in. Maybe have to clearance a few things, but shouldn't be that big of a deal. And then I can take this guy and drop it in the Pontiac, and the Pontiac I have a pretty nasty little small block in it. And then I'd have all three on the road. Well, Pontiac could be a little bit, but you know, still, it's a lot of dang work. But I don't know. What do y'all think? Throw me some comments down below. We'll see what the survey says, so to speak. But yeah, I'm not sure. I really don't know which route I want to go right now. I mean, the other side of it is like, yeah, screw it. Just take and go buy a new set of bearings. Throw a set of bearings in it. Done. You know, of course, I still have to tear it down and, you know, flush out the motor, but yeah, I don't know. Y'all guys throw some comments down there. Let me know. I'm kind of just, I don't know. So I'm not sure what I'm gonna do for the rest of the video, but it is lunchtime, so I'm gonna go inside and eat me some lunch. Maybe figure out something else that needs some attention and work on that. And yeah, I guess I'll be back in just a little bit. So I got me some lunch and sat and thought and looked and thought. I honestly don't know which direction I want to go. I believe I already went over that with y'all. It's been a few hours, so I don't remember what all we discussed earlier, but I'm pretty sure this motor going Little John, that motor going in this truck, and then this motor gets stroked and done up real nice and go into the Pontiac whenever that time comes. So that's kind of where I'm at right now, and I'm looking at, you know, looking at numbers, looking at time frames, trying to figure out a bunch of stuff, and it's just, it's a lot. So number wise, it's gonna be pretty damn cheap to take Steve's Vortec 350 and put it in Little John. So cost side on that is only it's like $600. It's like, you know, a new flywheel for this, just what, $175. Put a new clutch, $150. Figure in tax and shipping and everything, just go ahead and round up. So, you know, that's probably $350, $400 right there. Then you got to figure in, you know, your fluids, incidentals, all that other stuff. So probably another couple $100 worth of parts. You know, and I can have this really good running motor that I don't really have to do anything to in Little John out there. And, you know, Little John be in pretty good shape and very dependable. So, you know, I'm kind of leaning that way because that's really simple, really easy. This guy needs a little bit of work. I mean, I could clean it up and just put some fresh bearings in it and, you know, run it till it dies, but I really would rather not, because I think it just had some trash go through it and just starved the oil to the bearings. And I'm really kind of digging the idea of a stroker. You know, having this guy stroked out, maybe put a set of aluminum heads on it, slap it into Pontiac. Now that'd be a little ways down the road because that's a little bit more money than I'm wanting to spend. But, you know, the big block, I can slap that guy in here. I really wanted to do the big block with the 4L80, with fuel injection and a trans controller, but again, budget. I ain't made of money. So the way the big block's set up right now, I could totally drop it in there. It'd be in front of that turbo 350, and I don't know if I'd trust that trans to hold up to that, you know, to the torque of that guy. That trans, I'm already kind of blowing the gears whenever it's shifting gears as it is. So I don't think I would want to put that turbo 350 behind that guy. So I could at least pick up a trans controller. I want to say it's like $600 for the trans controller for the 4L80, and leave the big block carbureted for now, which I have a couple, 2 or 3 carburetors floating around here that'd be perfectly sized for that motor. So I could still run it as carbureted with an electronic trans controller, but then I got to pick up a drive shaft, so I don't know how much that cost is going to be. Honestly, it's been so long since I've had to buy a drive shaft, I have no idea what the cost would be. So, but I would have to get the motor and trans in there, get them in place so I can measure and send that information off to a drive shaft shop. So, and then I'd have to rework some exhaust stuff because those long tube headers are not going to play nice with as low as Steve sits. So I probably need to go to some shorties, or some mid-length or something a little different. I'm running mid-length on Steve right now, so I'd have to, I don't know. There's still some thinking to do here. So if y'all don't mind, throw me some ideas, some suggestions, or if there's a scenario here that you see that I'm not saying, throw it out there, and, you know, hey, I'll be like, never thought of that. Maybe I'll go with that. So you know, I don't know just yet. I don't know what we're going to do. I hate to take Steve a running driving truck and make it a not running driving truck. But on the other side of that, that will make Little John a running driving truck again. Now, I do have Steve, I've registered Steve for cruising the coast this October. I was going to drive down, you know, my mom and dad live down that way. So I was going to drive down there, pick up dad. Me and him was going to go, you know, looking at hot rods, muscle cars, and checking out the swap meets. So, you know, I've got Steve set up for that. I don't know the rules on transferring to different vehicles or anything like that. The only rule I know about vehicles is 89 or older. Big John's a 1990. Damn it all. So, I mean, if that was the case and I could take Big John, I'd totally rock Big John down there because that's a really comfortable truck to cruise around in. Not that Steve isn't, but Big John's very, very, very comfortable. So, yeah, I don't know, folks. Y'all guys gonna have to throw me a freaking bone. So if y'all see a scenario or an idea or something like that, throw it at me. You know, I can ruminate on that, and who knows, maybe something different will happen here. But for now, I'm not going to do anything other than I'm going to put these rod caps back on, put a pan over this, roll this motor back over, probably go ahead and slap these heads back on, just haze everything with some WD-40 for now. Just kind of pull this off to the side so I'm not taking up my big area here in the middle of the shop. So I'm going to do that. You know, for the rest of the day, I'll probably do that. And then it's not a bad day outside, so I think I'm going to go out there and go ahead and pressure wash under the hood of Little John, because either way this goes, I've got to get that done. And it's a grimy mess under there. So I think I'm going to just work on this stuff here and close out my day doing that stuff. So no sense in filming all that. It's me with a pressure washer, and y'all have already seen me take this stuff apart and put motors together, and all I do is put it on high speed, and you know, that would be the end of the video. So yeah, unfortunately, not a ton of action in this video, but a lot of information and a lot of questions. So if y'all guys like the video, be sure to hit that like button. If you made it this far and you haven't subscribed, or if you just want to see what I'm gonna do, because hell, I don't know. You want to find out the answer to the question, what's Matt going to do in this situation? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Yeah, hit the alarm thing down there too, so that way you get notified whenever I post a new video. So if you got any questions, comments, concerns, throw them down there in the comments. I always read through them. If you want to follow me on social media, that information is listed down in the description. Yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do here, folks. So y'all guys chime in, give me some ideas, and I guess we'll see y'all next time. Just remember, folks, ain't got to be perfect. It's good enough. And we'll see y'all next time. Alright, well, there's piston 1, piston 2, which is really bad. Luckily, the crank's okay, but yeah, bearings have seen much better days. Number 1 isn't terrible in comparison. It's still not good. So number 5 looks to have been rolling, so it's not where it's supposed to be. So almost had another spun one. This one, there's definitely been some heat. Yeah, been a fair amount of heat down in there. But again, the crank looks fine. Nothing's catching a nail. Oof. Yeah, number 6. Yeah, this. Yeah, this guy's toast. All right, so the main bearing isn't quite as bad, but yeah, it's definitely got some wear to it. I don't know how well that translates, but yeah, there's some wear there. It's not as bad as the rod bearings, but I mean the crank looks beautiful. I don't see any marks or scratches or anything on the crank, so I don't know. We'll pull a couple. I'll pull this center main cap, and I mean the motor's still got to be tore down, but figure I just kind of see exactly what the carnage is here, how bad everything really is. Yeah, that one's starting to get down. I see a little copper color to it, so that one's getting a little bit of wear to it as well. But again, the journal don't look bad. Yeah, it don't look too bad. So, all right, I just figured I'd take a look at all that stuff real quick, just to see kind of a little bit better, you know, what's going on here. You know, has it plugged up all the oil galleys? Has it plugged up just some of them? You know, just try to diagnose what I can, so to speak. But yeah, I'm gonna take this whole thing down.